Aha, there we are. We're
Oh,
live again. You're getting a twofer from me this morning. Uh, first, Mr. Doug to Naple, and now we are being joined by my good friend, Mr. Preston Poulter. How are you
hello.
doing, sir?
I'm doing great. So,
Um,
White Lily
and
issue 3 just launched on Kickstarter. So,
the
it's
link of that is in the description, by the way, for
yeah.
anyone that is interested. And but let's actually talk about, because you had another book out,
hmm
and
I
what
sent
was
you a
it?
copy, I believe.
You did. I
Mhm.
have it, and you'd given me a PDF of that.
Mhm.
Actually, I've got PDFs of a few of your books, but
Yeah.
um, your I was reading White Lily a
Mhm.
few months ago, but I'm just, man, I've been so busy. But what I read,
Mhm.
I really liked it.
Well, good.
Number two, nice art,
Thank you.
beautifully professionally colored, looks fantastic. So I can honestly say that without shilling, because I don't like, there's been a few times where I've had to just, someone's a nice person and you
Yeah.
just do an interview and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
Uh,
like, I don't really like your book, but you seem like a nice guy.
exactly.
So I don't just give that up,
Right. Well, I
but
appreciate
I
that.
like the way White Lily looked. I was like, okay, so let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Why did you create White Lily? What made you want to tell this story? Is it based, is it like a real story, or is it just
Yes.
you didn't
Yeah.
have an
Real
idea or
story.
what?
If you look at the back of issue 1 or the very final page of the first issue PDF, I put a picture there of the actual historical figure, because people ask that question so frequently: was this a real person? Like, yes, this was absolutely a real person. Um, and she flew for the Soviet Union. She was a fighter pilot during the Second World War. She fought at the battles of Stalingrad and Kursk. She was the very first woman to ever shoot down an enemy plane. She had a lot of firsts. She had an interesting life, and reading about her life, I'm like, this is a hell of a story. Like, just the raw life and the life she led was just kind of lent itself to, a movie or a comic book. And so when I discovered that, I'm like, someone needs to do something with this. And at the time I was living in LA, and I was talking to people who were writers. I'm like, you should do something with this story. And finally, if it's to be, it's up to me kind of thing. So I decided I would tackle it. And here I am.
Yeah, but again, tell me about your artist on it, because, like I said, I thought the art was really clean.
Thank you.
Great colorist. Is this the same person that worked on, what was it, Guinevere and the Divinity Factor? I think I might have that wrong.
Did you get to the very end of White Lily issue 2? On the final page, there's information that is pertinent to this question.
No, I didn't actually get. I got the
Okay.
book. I got about halfway through book
I
one, and then I
understand.
started going back to working
Okay.
on my own
So
project.
the White Lily was my first comic book project, and I did not know anyone in the comic book world, but I knew people who had put out a book here and there, and so I talked with a friend of mine named Jack, who put out a comic book back in the 90s. And he's like, well, I know this guy Walden Wong, which I don't know if you know who Walden Wong is, but he's kind of a top level inker these days. He does a lot of work for Marvel, and you can just Google him and see.
I'm sure because that name sounds familiar, but yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of acres, unless they're like Scott Williams, it's hard to
Right.
get recognition just on solely on being an E.
Yeah, exactly. So I got in touch with Walden Wong, and then Walden Wong put me in touch with a friend of his named Laval Davis, who was out of San Francisco. And so Laval Davis was our penciler for issue 1 and 2. Walden Wong, my very first campaign was, I did the cover in the first 5 pages, and I figured that would be enough to present to people, and hope that, and then, the whole. I remember the last time I was on your show, you were like, wait a minute, you're doing a Kickstarter for a project you've already finished? Well, this is where that came from, because initially I did the cover in the first 5 pages, and my campaign failed. I'm like, all right, fine. I finished the whole project, and then I did it, launched it again, and the second time it met its goal. So, and then we went into issue 2, and I kept Laval Davis on, and but Walden did the cover in the first 5 pages of White Lily issue 1, And then, it took time off trying to do the campaign, which didn't work. And then when I came back to finish up, he was, I was always the lowest priority for him because he was doing Marvel stuff. And, when you're working for Marvel, like these small indie projects are just like, whatever. So I was able to find a different inker, Diana Greenhalgh, who came in for issue 1 and stayed with us all the way through issue 3. And then I switched colorists between issue 1 and issue 2. So that's why the color looks different if you compare that. And then, unfortunately, in April of last year, Laval Davis passed away unexpectedly. So
now I do know that part because you and I talked about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I put a dedication for him there at the very tail end of issue 2.
Well, but you're okay. So you've got a new artist. Who's the new artist?
The new penciler is Jake Bilbao out of the Philippines. So. And you can see the work he's done there on. I sent you, I believe, a PDF for all of White Lily issue 3, so you can see the work he's doing. And
it was like people give me, dude. I've got so many books that people was like that. I've had people on, and they was like, but it's like they was like, and I want to read because what was it? Sean I can't remember his last name. He wrote the Ferryman and Ferryman 2. He sent me stuff, and what's the gentleman Scott that did Chaotic Flux? I've got his book, and then another guy. I was like, there's so many people there. Antonio, read this. Antonio, read this. I was like,
sure.
And I'm like, I am knee deep. Well, matter of fact, neck deep in brand. Not only in brand, but then I'm going over color pages. I'm going over the fonts, and I'm doing it. And I'm like, I'm doing things trying to get people to see the book, and I'm talking to people trying to get like preview copy. And I'm like, I'm working my ass off on brand. Now I'm writing brand Way of the Gun. So I'm like, I'm doing all that.
Right.
And writing Way of the Gun. And so I'm like, a lot of times I get the PDF, I open it, I go, okay, let me skim through this. And I'll skim, like, I was reading White Lily, and I read it, and then a matter of fact, I remember when you gave me White Lily, Mike S. Miller had just given a PDF of Lone Star. And so I was reading your book, and then I got Lone Star. And so I read Lone Star. And I was like, but I'd gotten to about 7 or 8 pages in. And then I got Lone Star, and then I did. Now, to be fair, I did read all. I read the whole thing all the way through, and then you gave me a PDF for Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, which I read the whole thing of that. I did get through all of that, but I've also been reading like Sinestro War, and I've been reading Kingdom Come, and I've been reading Green Lantern Rebirth, and I've been reading Batman White Knight. So I've been reading all this other stuff and writing my book. So I was just like, if you send me something, I'll try to read it eventually. But what I will say, definitely loved Guinevere. Thought it was a great book.
Thank you.
I think it's still available on Indiegogo, or have you taken it down?
On Indiegogo, yes.
Okay. So it is still available on Indiegogo. Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. I thought it was a great book. Read it. I've got an autographed copy. Fantastic. Yeah. Great colors, great art.
We're going to be, just this morning, I was talking with Blonde to find a penciler for Guinevere and the Divinity Factory issue 2, because after book 1 came out, like, I think a lot of people were really impressed with the artwork, and this is something you may struggle with. You go out and you try and find an artist who's a good value. Like, you want the best possible talent for the lowest possible price, and when you find somebody like I found for Rod Looper for Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, when that book hit, he got really busy. And so that I have to find somebody else for issue 2, because he's like, look, you don't understand how busy I am. Come back to me in 8 months. But I want Guinevere and the Divinity Factory issue 2 to be the campaign for that to start in the 4th quarter of this year. So we're looking for a pencil right now for that.
No, trust me, I deal with it because obviously I have. I think my artist is okay. He's decent. I don't know if he's great or anything, but I have a decent artist. A guy named Kanan White. That he might be a mediocre talent. I don't know, but apparently a few other people want to work with him, and they feel like I'm hogging him. Well, guess what? I'm going to keep hogging Kanan. That's my guy, and I'm going to I'm going to give him things to draw. And we're going to make a lot of money together. Now, in between that,
Right.
he will work with other people, but he's going to come back and work on brand, and
Sure.
we're gonna keep doing a ton of
Right.
books together. But also, I want to work with other people, and he wants to work with other people.
Yeah.
Um, it's just it's just there's the book Comic Boy Atomo that Elliot Fernandez and I have been talking about doing. Still, we just got to get that all set down because now he's doing the Doom Kicker thing with Doug TeNapel. So we're busy. We want to do this full time. We want to do this 365 days a year, all year round. Yeah, and let's see, it's is 135 no accord to EVA. Well, I mean, there's the thing about Ethan Van Sciver. There's that book Fearsome that he wants to do, and I want Kanan to do that book. So hopefully, if Elliot can, but it sounds like Doom Kicker is going to be a big book, and so I'm sitting there going, because I was like, 1 minute is 48 pages, then it might be 70, and then Doug was wanting to do like 96 pages,
Wow.
and Elliot doesn't want to draw that many, and I was
Right.
just like, okay, so I was like. He was like, well, it depends. He's like, if the support is there, I guess I'll draw what, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, geez. Because, I mean, Bigfoot Bill was, it was like 96 pages. It was a big book.
Right.
And it had a sketchbook with the making of and all that other. Doug put a lot of work into Bigfoot Bill. So I was like, as hard as I'm working, I'm not working as hard as Doug.
Exactly.
Doug, but Doug's always like, okay, well, I just want to make the book, and then so I can call my agent and have him shop it so I can get like cartoon deals and stuff. And that's what he's does. He's always got that Hollywood connection. He's always hustling that. So, I mean, we got some really good information about not only his Earthworm Jim comic that is launching on Monday, but this is, one thing he put out there is that his Earthworm Jim project is going to involve multiple comics. So he's not doing a one shot here. He's
Okay.
doing multiple volumes of Earthworm. So this is what he's wanted, where he can continue. Because he kept talking. We'd be talking privately, and I was like, "What can you do? Like Earthworm Jim crossover Bigfoot?" Well, no, I don't own the rights. I don't do this. He's like, I could tell. But you look on his live streams, and he's always drawing Earthworm Jim.
Right.
When he did a birthday present for Sean Gordon Murphy. He didn't draw Bigfoot Bill. What did he draw? Earthworm Jim, because Sean Gordon Murphy loved Earthworm Jim when he was growing up. That was like, so he kept drawing Earthworm Jim, but I don't have the rights. Let me draw Earthworm Jim. I don't do, and I was just like, dude, you miss Earthworm Jim. Then you find out he's been trying to get the rights back for 10 years.
There you go.
He spent 10 years trying to get the rights back, and now he is in a position to not only create a new Earthworm Jim video game.
Right.
He has the rights to do the comics, and that is fantastic. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Doug has been such a dear friend, and he was right. He was in on brand when nobody else was in on it. He saw the vision. He saw the vision early. So
Right.
I'm always going to support him. I know there were some people that came to the chat, and they were upset with Doug as we were speaking earlier, but I didn't kick anybody out, but this is what it was. I just felt like, hey, this is what it is. Let's talk. Doug's here. You want to talk? He's doing the comic. If you felt a
He
certain
seemed like
way,
a really nice guy,
yeah, and that's why I'm like, Doug is Doug. So that's why that's why I like talking to him. But I just want to talk about comics and stuff like that. That's why that's why Doug was here. That's why you're here. So
Right.
that's what it is. I'm always just gonna, if I think a creator is, if I'm interested in something they're doing, they'll always have an open door on my channel, at least.
Well, I really appreciate that. I mean, going back to Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, you were the first guy to have me on, and I remember that. So thank you very much.
Well, again, that's another thing that I mentioned. There's a lot of people now. I wish I could be John Malin. John Malin literally will always say, "Hey, anyone, if you're within the community and you send me a message, I'll let you come on because
Right.
John knows he's had some people on and their books were not ready for prime time. You understand what I'm
Oh,
saying?
sure. Absolutely, yeah.
And they were, and I was like, oh God, I'm cringing. I was like, God bless John Malin. God bless John Malin. And so I remember you reached out to me and I was like, there'd been a lot of bad books that had gotten sent to my DMs.
Right.
A lot. When I'm telling you a lot. And it was just like, hey, Antonio, I like what you're doing with Brand. This is Thunder Fist.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I got the message from you and you were like, hey, Guinevere in the Divinity Factory. And you also had mentioned White Lily. And I started looking, I said, and I gotta be honest, I was dismissive, but I was like, okay. I was like, he might be good. Let's just check it out. Let's see. And I started looking at I said, wow, the art looks really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay, it's colored nice. Okay. There you go. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
And like I said, I started reading like White Lily, and I was like, this is interesting. I like this. And and then like you had some great stuff in Guinevere the Divinity Factory that I really, really thought was cool. And so I was like, okay, his book is ready. Let's talk to him.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you've been on a few times. But
I had a really great experience with Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, and I do my own fulfillment, and I'm not perfect. Sometimes people get a book and it's dinged or something, and they what I always try and tell people, look, I didn't do this on purpose. I wasn't like, this backer, screw this backer. I'm just going to beat the hell out of his book and send it to him. Like people do. But the thing about it is they were like, this book is so beautiful and you sent it to me. I'm like, okay, I'm glad you like the book. I'll send you a replacement. I'm sorry. I'll send you a replacement. So it was kind of weird because they were simultaneously hating on me and praising the book. So I'm glad, like everybody seemed to like Winter in the Divinity Factory, and I'm really glad for that. So awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was like I said. I appreciated you sending me a copy. I was, that was great, and it was fantastic. So I highly recommend it. And again, it's still live on Indiegogo, but also the link in the description is to White Lily 3, which is live on Kickstarter right now. If you guys want to check it out. Matter of fact, let me drop the link in the chat for anyone interested. Matter of fact, since Clint is hanging out with us, let me make Clint a mod. Sweet cast, everybody. Let me see here. So yeah. Boom, sweet cat. All right, Clint, you've been given the sword of power in the chat room there, and so yeah. But in matter of fact, you can plug your book. Your book is Downcast, and it is also doing very well on Indiegogo.
Is it on in demand at this point, or
because
the campaign wrapped? I think. I mean,
is it? Well, I know it's. I thought it was still live. It might be. Well, Clint, you can answer that. Is Downcast in demand? I'd assume so, since it is. Yes, there you go. All right, so it is in demand right now, and so if anyone wants to check that out, I thought I actually liked the way he had. It was like a great poster. Or print thing that he had that I thought that matter of fact, I thought that should have been a cover. I was like, that shit is dope. I was like,
that was a good print.
That the artist that did that print, I thought that I was like, oh wow. And then that should have been a cover. I thought that you'd probably do like a limited edition with that or something. It's just I thought that was great. But then Matthew Weldon's cover that he did for Downcast, I thought that was incredible as well. Matthew Weldon did a cover for Brand Way of the Gun, so was very thankful to him for taking a little time out there and hooking a brother up. So we've got more surprises coming with Brand Way of the Gun, but also have some surprises coming with Brand, as we go along and get, because about to do a backer update and let our friends out there know what's about to happen, because a lot of people have been sending me DMs, and whew, that is great. So I just actually want to look at your book.
Sure.
I'm assuming you have. It looks like when I checked out the page there that you had some of the. I don't know how much art you have.
There's I got a few of the interiors, but I'm not shy. I don't worry about spoilers. I mean, given that it's a historical story, if somebody wants to spoil it, they can just type it into Google and they can read her whole life. But
I mean,
yeah.
well, okay, let's unpack that, because it's like when you it's like doing a book about Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Abraham's about to get shot at the
At Ford
Ford
Theater.
Theater there,
Yep.
but there's been like so many different ones, and they're all written differently, and
Yeah.
one writer will focus on this aspect, and another writer will focus on another aspect, and so it's more about how the writer crafts the story for me.
Well, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. So yes, this is based on a true story, but I'm sure you had to take a liberty here, or.
And I mean,
Yeah, that's
it's
what I'm saying. You're crafting a story. So.
yeah, and when it comes to Soviet history, I mean, there's so much that is unknown because it wasn't like the most free and open society.
Yeah, well, I'm sure she had a YouTube channel out there somewhere,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
and all this information is public, and you can get it all out there. That's what I'm saying. This, especially with historical, like historical stories, where where it's real and stuff like that. You still have to take some license to,
Definitely.
um, because that's something. When I get into brand, um, the one of David's master.
Hmm.
He's an immortal character, and I kind of have a part in there where he's kind of interacted with a few people, over history. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it to kind of have some fun with it, not, and I'm sure that certain things won't be right or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just gonna be my story. That's just what it's going to be. I'll obviously do some research and try to make sure I get certain things dead on. But there's going to be things that I'm going to kind of play with and make it work for
Of course.
within the confines of the story. So that's just my thought
What I
process.
like about White Lily is that it started as a screenplay, and this was back when I lived in Venice Beach, California, and there was a screenwriter group that just met like 2 blocks down every Thursday. And so I would take the pages down there, and I would I would see what people think. And so when people are commenting about like, wow, this is so well written, I mean, one, I can't take all the credit because I go through the process of submitting my work and have other people go, sucks, horrible, and just drawing lines through it. And so when it comes to every single story element, I can tell you what decision I made and why, because I've already gotten feedback about like people who liked it or didn't like it or whatnot. But what was interesting about White Lily is that so many people, like after the group would kind of break for the evening, would come to me and go, okay, so that part where she like buzzes the tower, you're borrowing that from Top Gun. I'm like, no, she actually did that. And they're like, oh, okay.
Maybe they borrowed it from her.
Yeah, they borrowed it from her. And that part where like she beats her dogfight instructor the first time up, like you made that up. Like, no, she did that. And so the interesting thing is, yes, I have a bit of license, but it's the part that people don't seem to know. Like the really fundamental things about the story are really just her. So
All right. So hopefully this is working correctly, and I am doing my screen. It's saying I'm screen sharing.
seems to be. Yeah.
So yeah. So, and I've got it on your page right now.
Thank you.
And so this is going to be. It looks like you're saying this is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. So
A
this is
5-issue miniseries. Yes.
okay. So, which, by the way, are we getting a follow up to Guinevere and the Divinity Factory?
Issue 2 should be out in the fourth quarter. My goal is to put out books once a quarter. So Guinevere was first quarter, White Lily 3 is second quarter, White Lily 4 is going to be third quarter, and Guinevere 2 is going to be fourth quarter.
Okay. Yeah. Now see, I just like this art. I think it's really clean.
Thank you.
And man, beautifully colored. Can't I like how you have where you have the little signs here reward. I don't put that much effort into my
Right.
crowdfund. I just throw it in there. You know, it'll just be bold letters or whatever. Das
Right.
Britannea. You know, but let's see here. So what is this part here? Is this all prints or what is
Yeah.
it?
All right. So there are certain reward levels where you get metal trading cards, like this one, and those are all the different. That's the set of 7 metal trading cards that I wanted to show people. It may not be the most elegant way to show it. I should probably put it in a video or something. But those are all the 7 metal trading cards, and then at certain levels you can get metal 11x17 prints. But you would pick. So you'd go, oh, I think I want, the variant cover of issue 2. People love that. The one with the plane there. The and the plane being shot at there in the
Oh, okay.
bottom
Oh,
right.
right here, White
Yeah,
Lily. This one
yeah.
right here, yeah.
People really like that cover, and Blonde did a great job of really making the colors pop, and that whole cloud burst in the sunlight. Blonde added all that, but that was the last piece of artwork that Laval Davis worked on before his death, so it has special significance to me. But people really loved that piece of artwork, and
Did
so
he did he do this digitally or?
no, that was done by hand.
Oh wow. So what happened to?
Oh, I'm sorry. The pencil and ink were done by hand. The color was digital.
Well, of course the color is going to be, but I'm saying what I was asking is where are the original art pages?
I have those.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
After he died, his roommate went in and he was just like, all right, Preston, here's White Lily stuff. I need to send it to me. And I've got it.
Oh my God. Oh, oh, oh my God. Because I was like, I don't know. I collect art. That's why I was like,
Okay. I can set up reward levels if people are interested in the original White Lily 1 and 2 artwork. No problem.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know. It's,
Now for White Lily 3 with Jake's work, he's that's all digital. So
yeah.
yeah.
That's what. Trust me, I had to pull teeth to get Kanan to do some traditional stuff,
Right.
but that's what. But when he started going on like auctions with Mike S. Miller, going on Ethan Van Sciver's auction, and
Right.
started saying, he's like, hey, people seem to be willing to pay for this traditional stuff,
Yeah.
and so now we're, like I said, we're in the last 20 pages, and people have bought like 9 of those pages, which I'm about to take all that stuff down. I'm about to take a lot of the rewards down because, like I said, we're in the last 20 pages. I'm just wanting to keep it kind of
Right.
streamlined. Take the T-shirts down, take the original art page, take the sketch covers down. All that stuff's about to come down, and it's just going to be, you want the triple pack, you just want one comic or whatever, and we're just going to keep it like that until we finish. And but this is your new artist, or is this
Yes,
still from?
that is a new artist right there.
Yeah, 'cause I think he did a good job. I think the art still looks pretty good. It
Right.
does look different, but it doesn't look bad different. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely oh wow. I like this shot. I like this page right here.
Thank you.
This little panel. This looks really good.
Yeah, well,
You
one of the features of White Lily, which since you have the physical books, you may have gotten that far. Whenever I go into the sky, the orientation of the book changes.
mm. Well, I only have the PDFs of White Lily. I have the physical of Guinevere.
Right. Okay.
But
Then,
but I do have those PDFs and I can check and
that's kind of lost in PDF because there's no way to turn the monitor. But
ah,
if you have the physical book, you actually have to orient the book differently whenever they go into the sky because we go into this
so
landscape.
this is like a 2-page spread then.
That's actually just one page.
Oh wow. Oh, I got you. Okay, so it'd be one page and then you'd have to okay, I got
You
you.
have to tilt it because I wanted
Oh,
people to do the work of a pilot and get level with the horizon, kind of orient
oh,
themselves and stuff like that. And I'm trying to convey subtly of that the sky is a different world because one of the things that you learn in issue 1, and I don't know how far you read in issue 1, but the communist government executed her father when
oh
she was
wow.
a child, and so she's up there serving the people who killed her dad. And she's a Jew amidst a bunch of Russians who don't like her. And her orders are basically to go down and die for her country. And she will not be missed. And she understands that. And so the story is about, in the absence of any kind of greater societal institution that you are serving, you know, essentially self-reliance and finding purpose in your own struggle is what I'm dealing with here in her story. So, and one of the things I was trying to explain is, well, why is she up there serving the people that killed their dad? And I tried, well, because the sky is a different world. It's bigger, it's bolder, it's freer. She gets access to this powerful machine that can do amazing things, and she's not going to give that up. So that's why we go sideways in orientation.
Okay, so this is the end. I like that, the whole parachute, and then boom, he sees me.
Yeah.
All that kind of thing. So let me actually go back up and look at some of your rewards that you're offering here. And let's see. So you can kind of give me a
Sure.
let me see here. Okay, pledge $6 comrade. You get DR. Okay, so this is a digital situation
Digital
right
situation on $6. Yeah.
here. Okay.
But you get all 3 PDFs, 1, 2, and 3. I'm very generous with my PDFs. Like, just have it, whatever. You know, $6. There you go.
Yeah, man. Trust me, you've been spreading that PDF like an STD or something, man. Trust me.
I'm not protect. Like, if people just message me, I'll give it to you. But you know, I set up a reward level for people who aren't in the know. So.
All right. So let me see here. Early bird, returning veteran.
Yeah.
You get an autographed physical copy of White Lily 3, regular cover, and a metal trading card of that cover, as well as a PDF copy of all 3 issues, free domestic shipping. Oh, wow.
That's pretty good value.
So wait a minute. So you're shipping?
Yeah.
You're shipping for free and only charging $12?
Yes.
Wow.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, you got to tell me how you can pull that off.
Trading card. I mean, like, people charge $20 for these things. Like, there's a lot of value in this thing. So,
and it's autographed because the book you sent me was autographed.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my. Okay, so let me go down here. Again, you're gonna have to tell me. Maybe you got some kind of hookup with the post office that you can tell me about. Because let me see, pledge 28 or more early bird junior airman. You get both autographed physical and variant cover of White Lily #3, as well as PDF of White Lily issues 1 through 3, and 2 metal trading cards of the 2 covers, available only for the first 72 hours. Okay, so this is, if you want it, you got to get in on this now.
Right. So I've set it up so that, and this is one of the things I like about Kickstarter. I know a lot of people are like Indiegogo, but one of the things I like about Kickstarter is I can set up like these early bird rewards by time. And so I'm like, all right, for the first 72 hours, here's what you get. And then after the 72 hours goes, all these early bird rewards go away, and they're going to be replaced by just more, you know, more traditional versions. So for instance, on the $12 level, you still get the comic, still free domestic shipping, still 3 PDFs, but you don't get the metal trading card, for instance.
Okay, I got you. All right, let's go down one more. 50 or more, home base. This is a retailer reward. Okay, for retailers in the Dallas and Los Angeles area, you receive. Wait a minute. So so this is only regional type thing, or can anybody get this?
Well, I suppose anybody could get that, but I don't know of any retailer in Milwaukee who's calling me up and can I get White Lily? But you know, I talk to people in Dallas and LA, and I let them know my Kickstarter is up, and I can't think of anybody else who really wants 20 copies of a book. But you know, if you want me to ship it to you, contact me and we'll work out something privately. But
well, I will say this: I've had a couple of retailers back me, and they bought the 10 packs that I have offered. They bought the 25 pack, which they're very happy that they bought the 25 pack now, especially with all the different variants that I've got in there. Because I've got we've got Kanan's cover, which we have yet to reveal yet. Kanan's cover, yeah. Well, I know what Kanan's cover is going to be, but we haven't shown Kanan's cover yet.
Right.
But it's, man, there's a lot of good stuff coming up that we're gonna let people see, because we want people to be excited about brand. It's I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of the work that we've been doing. And
it looks great. Everything you post looks really good. So.
Oh, you haven't seen it all yet. Trust me. Let's see here. So let's go down to the next one. Pledge $55 or more. This is the early bird senior airman. You get both copies of the 3rd issue, a t-shirt featuring the comic artwork, and 3 11x17 prints of your choosing, and 2 metal trading cards featuring both cover images of issue 3, free domestic ship. Man, you got to tell me how you pulling that off, because that's one thing. Trust me, with No, I'm being honest because
Yeah.
just talking to like Mike and
Right.
talking to Ethan and talking to John Malin and stuff, you start hearing about how much the damn shipping costs.
Oh
Not
yeah.
just domestic, but the international shipping's insane.
Oh yes, it's really bad. Well, that's why it's free domestic shipping. If you're in Canada, I'm not shipping it to you for free. But,
Oh, okay, yeah. Whew. All right. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I could work some of that in.
sure.
Uh, But let me see here. Let me go down. Pledge 125 or more is the early bird captain. So these are all early bird. Are these do
Yes.
these all have timers on them, or are you
Yes,
just
they
gonna pull
all
them?
have timers on. So when it comes to Sunday 11 a.m., they all expire, and they are all going to be replaced by a different versions of those rewards that aren't quite as good.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, so let me see. Early bird captain, you get the good stuff, the variant cover of issue 3, the T-shirt with the regular cover artwork, a set of all 7 signed metal trading cards,
Yeah,
and an 11 by 17 solid metal print of the Oh my God.
it's pretty good, right?
Yeah, yeah, you, bro. Are you don't? I'm worried you're gonna go bankrupt on this stuff. That's why I'm like, oh,
So I got all that movie money. By the
yeah.
way, my movie's up on Amazon Prime. Standoff at Sparrow Creek. If anyone wants to check it out,
Standoff on and
that's Sparrow
I
Creek.
have I have Amazon Prime member. So, or do
You
you have to pay?
watch it's not free, but you have to buy it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, I'll throw you a few shekels.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And but let's see. But okay, so it's not just like on Prime streaming because I was like, I've got Prime membership. I can watch it.
Yeah.
I was like, I've got it. Okay, so let
You
me
can watch it,
see.
but you're gonna have to pay for it. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm like,
but we filmed that whole movie here in Dallas, and the checks are coming in, and now we're about to in about 6 weeks we're about to pull the trigger on our next movie, which is going to be it's tentatively titled Shut In, and that's should be
okay,
exciting.
so I'm definitely gonna need to check your movie out. All right, so let me see here. Pledge. Matter of fact, maybe I can because I can do that little Amazon link thing, and if I can recall,
Right.
you'll have to send me a link to in the DM so I can actually add a link
Okay,
to
I will do
your
that.
movie
Hold on just a minute.
and and we can get that all going. Let me see, because that way people can check your movie out as well. Let me see here. But pledge $225 or more.
Yeah.
Early bird order of linen. You get drawn into issue 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay,
Issue
because
four is
issue
already
3 is
done.
already done, and okay, so you already. Well, I guess you just took because that's where I want to get with brand.
Hmm.
That's another thing people ever understand. It was like, dude, XYZ already has his book like 70% done, and I was like, XYZ raised $300,000. I
Right.
didn't.
Yes.
So the goal, and Kanan and I have talked about this, is to raise enough money where we can just start months ahead of time and start where he's not having to take other projects for work. If I have money coming in and we have a foundation, I can keep him busy because I've got the stories. You know what I'm saying? We could get the book already set up, already the colorist, already get everything ready, and that way when we launch, it's going to be a much shorter turnaround.
Right.
If it'd be nice if I made the kind of money like say a Doug to Naple, but even Doug, was drawing his book pretty much every day on the air,
Hmm.
which I actually like that. That's those times when I've had Kanan come on and actually draw pages and stuff. I think those have been, I think people seem to like those because we're letting you see the progress. We're actually letting you see that we're doing work. So that's, but yeah, you get drawn in
To issue
issue with so you get both comic covers,
5. Yeah.
T-shirt for this campaign, 7 metal trading cards for all White Lily artwork, 3 11 by 17 metal prints of your choosing.
Yeah.
Early bird reward will only be available for 72 hours.
There you
Okay. So, all right, that's your last one.
go. That's it.
Whew. Wow. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Can't we? If we've gotten because see you have 8 backers. Maybe you've gained another one here or there.
Would be
I
nice.
don't know. It would be nice, but eh, looks like we're still there. You're at 190, 198,
Yep.
and but hey, we're chugging along,
Yeah.
and you got 29 more days to go.
Indeed.
And so let me do this and get back in, and let's actually see what they're saying here in the El Chato room. Let me see here, because if you guys have any questions for Preston or would like to ask, about any of his work, please do not hesitate. Let me know. And oh yeah, I forgot. Let's see.
Oh yeah, and I sent you the link to the movie, by the way.
Okay, excellent.
Or do you want me to send it in Google Hangout? I sent it in Twitter. I can send it.
No. Send it. Let me see here. Tarzik, freaking killing me here. I swore I wouldn't use Kickstarter again, but you're tempting my resolve. Well, one thing I know, you also eventually your books tend to end up on both platforms, because you put Guinevere on Kickstarter and you also put it on you put it on Kickstarter first, and then it's on Indiegogo.
The last time I was running them like at the same time, and I didn't like that. So I mean, if there's enough demand, then yeah, after the Kickstarter is done, I'll put it up on Indiegogo. But Indiegogo doesn't allow that really cool early bird stuff.
Yeah,
that's timed rewards. So.
Well, you have to be a little bit more hands-on, because I thought Mike was very smart how he did when he launched the Lone Star 2.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, you just kind of have to say, hey, this is the early bird reward right here, and you just have to take it off yourself. You just have to log in, because that's one thing I will say about Indiegogo. I set them campaigns up, and I've set perks up, or secret perks, because I have people messaging me and go, hey, Antonio, I want to do this, or I want to do that. How can I do this? And so basically, I'll go in here, and if it's not something I'm open, because I had to do a couple of custom orders. I had some of my bigger backers like, hey man, I want to give you some more money. Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm willing to finagle a little bit, if you're willing to spend some extra dollars.
Exactly.
So all you got to do is just set your thing up, and then you'll have to manually go in and just take it off.
Right.
Okay. So that's definitely something. Yeah, just make sure that your backers go, hey, you guys, you get in the first 72 hours, first week, whatever, and that's because think about how Mike's doing. Mike's got, what he said, 8 variant covers for Lone Star 2, and he did his first cover, and then John Malin's cover is. I think John Malin's cover is ending this Friday, and then the next cover is coming up. I know a lot of people are waiting on the Ethan Van Sciver cover, that he's got coming up for that. So there's a lot, So I don't know. I think Mike's been very smart with how he's marketing some of the stuff. Well, let's see. Warzard said, I just backed Guinevere on Indiegogo, so. Well, you got an Indiegogo sale. So
there you go. I appreciate
that's good. Guinevere in the Divinity Factory. So thank you for that. Again, I've got a copy of the book. That's one thing you were able. I don't know how big your print runs are, but you have copies that you can just ship out right now or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not going to be waiting.
And my goal is I'm going to do frequent projects. So I'm going to do one project a quarter, with excellent artwork. You're seeing all the artwork I'm putting out there. And my third goal is they're going to be fulfilled quickly. So Guinevere in the Divinity Factory, the campaign closed and I fulfilled everybody's rewards within 6 weeks. So.
That's why I was like, yeah, because I was like, you messaged me, you was like, hey man, I got the book, I'm about to ship this out, and all this. And I was like, oh great, okay.
I move fast.
And so yeah, man. So I was impressed with it. That's the thing when we, like I said, as we wrap this thing up and we actually get in the fulfillment stage, which there's something I'm tempted to announce. I actually mentioned it to Doug TeNapel when we got off the air, but I kind of wanted, because let me just say this. I have enough of the book, and someone wants to do, it's a pretty big place that they want a preview copy of the book. So I'm having a preview copy of Brand Created.
Okay.
And I said, okay, so primarily to send to this person that wants to possibly review the book, since I have enough of the book. But I said, well, if I create a preview copy, why would I not just go ahead and let all my backers who have been fantastic, who have been so amazing. We
Mhm.
have over 2,000, almost 2,100 backers on brand. And I was like, you guys, like I said, I know we're late, but
Mhm.
we've been working our ass off. And so what I have decided to do is all of our backers, when I send this preview copy out to this person.
Hold on, my phone's ringing. I'm going to turn it off real quick. It's
Okay.
spam caller.
Yep. But all of our backers are going to get to read brand. The first should be the first 21 pages. It will, it'll be a PDF. So I am
How big
going
is the book going to be?
48 pages.
Oh, wow, okay, impressive.
So yeah, it's 48 pages, but the first 21 pages of completed art,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to allow all of our backers to read the PDF.
So good.
That is what I've decided, because again, this person is pretty big situation that said, "Hey, if you get a preview, I'll do a review on it." So I
Right.
definitely want to do that. So yes, again, no, we're late, but the book is coming, and you're gonna get a PDF, and I want you to read it. And I want you to tell me, because like I said, I think Kanan actually inserted a page that was not in my script.
Okay.
But this page is a great jumping off point. It's kind of like, so when the PDF is done, it
Mm-hmm.
will kind of leave you with a kind of a cliffhanger type situation. And
Awesome.
so yes, so when this comes, I've already talked to my letter person. We are going to create this. I said, I need this because I have a pretty big opportunity for someone that wants to review the book.
Right.
And so if I could come up with a 21-page PDF,
Mm-hmm.
boom. Because like I said, I was going through, I was like, where can I drop? And Kanan, like I said, Kanan created this page that was not in my original script. And I said, wait a minute, this would be the perfect to be continued page right here.
There you go.
And so, boom, thing will happen, to be continued, but it will be the first 21 pages of brand, and everyone that back brand is going to get the link and they can look at it. You can see there'll be full color pages, the whole thing. Share it, give it to friends. I want as many people to read it as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've got almost 30 completed pages of art, but you're only going to get 21. And the rest, if you want it, of course, you'll have to get it on Indiegogo.
Of course.
So,
Come
but
on.
yeah, but
Let's be
yeah.
serious.
But matter of fact, when we get off the air,
Sure.
I'll let you see. I'll let you see a little bit of what we've been doing.
Well, I appreciate that.
So yeah, you've shared stuff with me, so I was like, okay, you'll get to, because so far, like people like Richard C. Meyer have seen
Right.
it. I showed some stuff to Mike S. Miller.
Right.
Doug, Dirty Doug,
Mm-hmm.
Elliot Fernandez, just stuff like, I showed what Antonio Malpica Critias, he's seen some stuff. That's what it's gonna be. I am going to release in full the first 21 pages of brand, and you know, let it out there. It's gonna go out into the universe. And then when you see where it ends, you're gonna be like, "Oh, what happens next?"
Right.
And then that's gonna be, that's gonna be private.
That's what you got to do. You saw how I ended Guinevere in the Divinity Factory. So,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. You left me. I was like, "Damn, where the rest of it?"
What happened to you? Yeah, I know.
So let's see. Okay, story time with Yankees and win. Um, win. Well, I got to get the. Let me see. I got to get page 19 tweaked, and then so that would leave 20 and 21.
Mm-hmm.
So that would give me the first 21 pages done, and then I can have my font person hook it up and get it all nice and lovely. But only matter of fact, I need to let my colorist know. I was like, hey, I need the last up to page 21 because, like I said, he gave me 19 this morning.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, those that follow me on Twitter know that I actually tweeted that page that I tweeted out was actually page 19. The one from yesterday where it was a mistake page where
Mhm.
it was showing. It's a beautiful page,
Yeah, you
but
changed the ethnicity or something of the
yeah.
guy?
Oh, well, no, that okay. That was two. That was
Okay,
the yeah. He made Lionel Solomon a black man, which was
okay.
not that wasn't good. And then he's like, I'm sorry, but he's coloring like 4 or 5 different books, and he keeps.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, you were coloring. You remember? He was like, I forgot, man. He was like, I can't. But my colorist works for he works for big companies. That's why we just couldn't put his name. He's just not using his name, but
Mm.
yeah. So. Yeah, but there's the scene where Penny transforms into that racing car, little fancy like Porsche or whatever the hell. I don't know. I had to ask Kanan what kind of model car he used, but I liked it. A nice little sports car.
Mhm.
And Pennett's transformed, but the previous page clearly showed that it was daytime, and then all of a sudden there's nights and stars. And I was like, wait a minute, he just ran in the house and it's like dark all of a sudden. But it was so beautiful.
Right.
It was so beautiful that I was like, I have to show it to our backers.
Yeah.
But
It looks cool.
but it has to be corrected.
Mhm.
So, that's and that's what it is. But yeah, he made and he sent me a message last night. He's like, man, because he follows me on Twitter and he saw that I tweet. And I was like, he was like, he said, people really like I was like, I liked your page. It was just it was just wrong. It was a mistake, but you colored it beautifully. He added all kind of like lighting effects and
Mhm.
stars, and it was amazing.
Mhm.
But that is page 19 of Brand.
Mhm.
And so he just sent me the daytime version of it. It didn't quite, I feel like he puts, and this is what I told Doug when we went off the air, because I was telling Doug about it, that I'd gotten a revised daytime page. I feel like he spent so much time and love on the night shift page that was wrong, that
Mhm.
when he realized he made the mistake, he was like, wah, wah. And then so I felt like he was
Right.
like, yeah, you don't want to have to color the same page over again. So I didn't quite get that same oomph
Mhm.
with this version of the page that I got on the other page. And so I need him to tweak some things. But hopefully tonight we'll get that. But then after that, he'll have 20 and 21. And that will give me everything I need to do my 21 page preview of Brand.
Awesome.
And so then when I
Right.
do that, I am going to just send it out to our backers.
Now, 48
And
pages is kind of an awkward size. That's not a comic, and that's not a trade paperback. It's in this kind of middle size, right? Like,
well,
how did you go on 48?
I've seen a lot of like little small graphic novels and stuff that were just
Okay.
like 48 pages in length. So just
Yeah.
seemed to be the right and that was just what it was. I was like, Cashbox 85 just use that page for way of the gun. Well, we're not there yet. We're not at way of the gun yet, but we're still in the past and
Yeah.
everything. Because it's like the first pages of Brand actually are like 5 years in the past.
Okay.
So it's like that's why Dawn's only 15, and that's what I'm saying. So we're in the past. They haven't even met yet. She hasn't even met David yet,
Mhm.
and so if she hadn't met him yet, she can't. They can't fall in love. She can't get pregnant. Bam.
There
So,
you
but it's coming though, and Way of the Gun is going. Now that everything's been set up and we can kind of put the bigger story out there, a
Right.
lot of, I won't have to explain as much. And then we could just get to the nitty gritty and just really, just a lot of crazy, because these scenes that Kanan is working on now, they're just crazy, crazy, crazy. And, just we've shown panels. Because that's what it is like. I give, Kanan will draw something
Mhm.
and it'll be like, okay, in the beginning he would draw and he would tweet the whole damn thing out. And then I'd end up swearing at him because I'm an asshole.
There you
And
go.
it's like I was like, I remember I got so mad at Kaden. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh, man.
I was like, and I got so, and he didn't realize. He was so excited.
I never talk to my artists like that because like if I don't have them, I don't have anything. So I'm just telling you.
No, and I have. I admit I'm a horrible person, but
Right.
also Kanan's a dear friend of mine. But I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right.
And then and I was just, and he was like, "I got so excited, I wanted everyone to see." And I was like, "If I haven't seen it,
Mm-hmm.
then nobody else should be seeing anything." And when he sent it out, there was some mistakes in the page.
Ah.
So I was like, so then he went back and he deleted the tweet and he was like, "Yeah, I made some mistakes." And I was like, "I told you." I was like, "Look at the script." And he was like, "Oh man, I did mess up. Okay, my bad." And he had to go back in and fix it.
Because last time I talked to you, or maybe it was in some direct messages on Twitter, I was, kind of taking you under my wing a little bit of the indie comic creator work with artists. And I'm like, I use a script. You were like, people I work with don't need scripts. I just tell them the story and they make it. I'm like, all right.
No, I have a script. No. I have a script.
All right.
It's just we're doing Marvel method, but we're doing Marvel method, but my script
Okay.
it's very precise. And Kanan will tell you, he's like, I probably overwrote it.
Okay.
And because Kanan was like, he said, "Yeah," he said, "I've never really worked Marvel style before." He said, "But your script has a lot of detail in it." And I was
Right.
like, "That's because I didn't want to have certain," because like he'll turn it. I was like, "Wait a minute, go back to the script. You remember this?" I was specific because I'll put little notes. I was like, "Make sure that this happens because it's going to affect something later in the book."
Right.
And he'll be like, "Oh man, yeah, I do remember seeing that. Okay, my bad." And he had to go in and fix it. Because sometimes he gets in a hurry and he just kind of skims through certain things,
Right.
and then he'll see it, and then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, you did put a note in the script right there." Because that's why I'm telling you, I was like, when I go back at him, I was like, "I did put that note in the." Yeah, you. I see it now. Yeah, I did.
There you go.
I looked over. So everything, but trust me, when you're looking at the pages, my scripting method must be certainly because people are like, "Man, the pages read real well." And I was like, you could tell what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is it just like, because that's one thing I was like, Kanan was like, "Yeah," he's like, "When I was going over your script, you're very detail oriented. You're telling me places to check for reference material, and all that kind of stuff." Because I'm like, hey, especially when we started talking about the beekeeping stuff, I
Beekeeping.
specifically mentioned, huh?
I did not know there was bees.
Yo, no, David's a beekeeper.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
And he actually, matter of fact, yeah, I got so many pages. I'll show you. I'll show
All
you a
right.
lot of stuff when we
All
get
right.
on there.
That's it.
Yeah, you'll get to see it. Yeah, so
All
like,
right.
you'll actually get to see. I thought I'd showed you some of that stuff earlier, but some of these pages have only come out within the last few weeks. But yeah, David has bees on his estate. He lives at a like old. There used to be an old Southern plantation. It's that I call Everhart.
Okay.
And on Everhart, he raises bees. It's just something, he's kind of like me. He has anger issues.
There you go.
And for whatever reason, when he's out there tending to bees, it relaxes him. So that's something he goes, like when he has anxiety or whatever, he'll go out there and he'll just start working with his bees and it just relaxes him and stuff. And then the super David, which I call the alpha, the one that when he's not a fat beekeeper anymore, when he transforms,
Mm-hmm.
when that comes up, then he uses those same bees. He takes them out on missions and stuff, and he can fight with them and stuff.
All right.
So yeah, so there's a lot going on here, but trust me, you'll see. I'm really proud of the pages that Kanan has given me, and like I said, I am, but I would not lie. I'm difficult to work with. I would like to say
Probably am too.
I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
I'm difficult to work with.
Right. I mean, I probably am. If you watch the names on the cover of my book, you will see they do change over time.
but it was so funny because I felt it was a couple months ago, and I got really mad at Kanan. I remember I got really mad at him, and then he did something that was so sweet for me, and I was just like, I sit there and I was like, man, I was tearing him a new one, and then he just was like, he heard I was sick, and he was like, hey man, are you okay? Everything, he's checking up, and I was like, you know what? I've been being an asshole. I'm so sorry. and I was just sitting there,
Moment of personal growth.
yeah, and I was like, because Kanan, I love Kanan.
Sure.
He does things. He does things which everything I'm saying, he knows I'm telling the truth. Cause I've told him personally. I was like, you did this, it drove me nuts. You did this, it drove me nuts. It's like when he does and he was just like, yeah, but I'm just trying to create. I'm trying to, try to make it better. I was like, but it's like the other day he added something that, like I said, this page 21 was not in my script.
Okay.
So it was like it wasn't in my script, but when he showed me the layout, I was like, yeah, it's not in the script, but and I was afraid that he was going to add to my page count. And I was like, dude, I already got my page. I've been pricing everything based on this page count.
48, yeah.
Yeah. So,
although adding more pages is not that expensive typically. But.
Yeah, I kind of did some because I thought about adding some fan art.
Right.
There's been people like, hey, this is Dark Santana. Hey, this is, and I was like, I thought about sending stuff out and I might do fan art in the next edition. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I liked when I was flipping through Graveyard Shift and then got to the end and you saw a couple of pieces that were created by other people. So I was like, that was cool. That's something I've thought about. But yeah, like I said, Kanan's a sweetheart, but he admits that he's not a business person.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's an artist. My experiences with artists is they can be a little flighty and just, hey man, everything's beautiful in the world. Let's create art and all this kind of thing. That kind of. And I was like, I ain't got time for this shit, man. Let's get this. And so I think a lot of times when you have to weigh the business options and stuff but at the same point in time, he's got a really sharp mind as far as visual storytelling. I think even when I see the pages in my head, when he lays them out and then I get the full rendered page, it's better. A lot of time I was like, well, I don't like this idea. Just let me try it, and then if you don't like it, I'll change it. And he'll knock it out the park. And there's been things that I ended up adding because I was like, no, that's not my story. I don't understand that. And then he would show me something. He'll do a quick sketch and everything. And I was like, that actually works. And I've ended up changing things that I had. I have like kind of a brand Bible. And I ended up changing a couple of things because Kanan had good ideas. And a lot of some of his ideas that he changed, is just from a time perspective, like, okay, so right here, you've got me doing this and that. And it probably would need just the way of the story narrative. It would probably need another page. But if I just do this, we can jump ahead and it'll fix it.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed, and particularly in like Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, I really played around with. But again, I do it, I script like, okay, page and panel. Like on this page, here's what's going to happen. This many panels in panel one. Here's what goes on. But coming from like a screenwriter background or just, I'm writing out the dialogue or the exposition of, oh, here's what somebody's thinking or feeling, but what I really started to play with in Guinevere and the Divinity Factory was just using the art to tell the story and using a lot fewer words.
Yes. Yeah. I've cut back on dialogue because I don't want to, and that's actually something that Richard C. Myers said, that when he started getting the Jawbreakers pages from John Malin, that they were so good. And he was like, I actually need less dialogue here. And there's going to be pages, Kanan, you might see sound effects and stuff like that enhance. But if I don't have to just over too much exposition and too much, then that's all for the better, and we can get more of the story out there. And I've assembled an amazing team. I think my team is like over 40 something years of experience. in comics, but
Yeah.
yeah, Marvel, DC, Image, IDW, Zenoscope, it's like I'm
You're doing
telling you,
great, sir.
yeah. So I'm extremely proud of the team that I've assembled.
Mhm.
I think and as they've been seeing the page, they're like, man, this book is gonna be really good.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know, because maybe I don't describe brand well, because
Mhm.
they're like, fat beekeeper, what? And they don't understand. And then they start going, fat beekeeper, I get it
There
now.
you go.
Gotcha. And I was like, when you start seeing it
Yeah.
and you start actually everything starts coming together, it's an experience. So again, like I said, when I went to Kane and I was like, I feel like I've been too hard on you and I've been kind of a dick and I'm sorry. And all of the, he's like, this is actually one of the better relationships I've had with a writer on a project.
There you go.
And I was like, really? I was like, because I felt like, because he's admitted, a couple times we've had Ben Jones on my channel, that did Asgard.
Yeah, I was hanging
And
out with him at El Paso Comic Con. We did that one together, and we were talking about you actually when we were hanging out drinking beer. Like, yeah,
I
and
was like,
Antonio, and Ben was like, I'm the one who hooked him up with Kane and White. I'm like, all right, fair enough. So, or maybe
he
that's not
did.
correct. Okay, he did. All right, so check. Okay, that was true, or is it not true?
He did. I met Kanan on my own.
Ah, then I'll tell Ben he's wrong. Fine.
No, I was like, that's not true.
Okay.
But Kanan told me he knew, it's like I started seeing Asgard
Right.
and he reached out to me and he was like, yeah, I know Ben, that's my dude. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
And
Okay.
then so that was, my connection to Kanan. I found Kanan on Instagram.
Ah. All right. Well,
Yeah, that's how I found. I didn't know, and
I
I
know that
approached him.
Ben said like he was talking about you and Kanan and that he had a prior relationship with Kanan and maybe
Yeah,
like
he's known Kanan for like 12 years.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they've known they go way back. They down like 4 flat tires.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they go back a ways.
Mhm.
But yeah, I met Kanan just because I was looking for an art. My mom had passed.
Right.
My mom died in October of 2016, and I just was like, I've been sitting on brand for so long. I
Right.
kept telling everybody because it's so funny. I've as the success has started coming, I've
Mhm.
had a couple of old friends that I've known for like 10, 15 years, and they reached out to me like, man, I see you're finally doing that book. He's like, man, you used to talk about doing that book like 15 years ago. And I was
There
like,
you
yeah,
go.
I did. I was like, yeah, I was 30 and talking about doing brand
Right.
then. And it was like, you're finally doing it.
The
That's
magic of the
awesome.
internet.
Yes,
Yeah.
and like I said, people that I hadn't heard from in like 8, 9 years. My ex-girlfriend, I talked to, and she,
Mhm.
it took us a while to get to a place where we were cool. Now, this was a woman I was with for 4 years, and I was engaged to her, and she's marrying somebody else now, and she was like, man, she's like, you were talking about that book in
Right.
like 2005 and stuff, 2006, and I was like, yes,
Now,
I was.
this wasn't the woman we were talking about when I was on for Guinevere back in January.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no, no, no. This is surprisingly, and this is just a coincidence. Her name is actually Dawn.
well, there you
My ex, and because that's the thing, I would tell her about Brandon. I'd say, I'd tell her, I say, hey, the character's named Dawn, and she was like, well, my name's Dawn. I was like, yeah, but I had this idea in what 99 or whatever, 98. Yeah, 1998, June of 1998. I've got my little book where I wrote my original brand notes, and but it was June of 1998 that I first came up with the idea after I had watched the George Kuklinski documentary on HBO where the Iceman serial killer, and I had this idea of this serial killer that worked for God.
there
And
you go.
so that was the premise of it. And then I was like, well, at first it was him, and then I was like, well, there need to be more, and maybe he's got a master, and then there's other characters, and then so all of a sudden I created the whole world.
Did you see that? God. All right, the actor who played Hudson in Aliens. I'm trying to remember his name. He was a great guy. He died. All right, well, the actor who played Hudson in Aliens.
Mm.
Um,
Not Bill Paxton.
anyway, but he produced and starred in a movie where that was kind of the premise.
Yeah, you're talking about Bill Paxton. That's why I've been saying you're talking about Frailty.
Yes,
And Frailty is fucking amazing.
right.
It's one of my favorite movies. I love Frailty. It is one of the greatest. Oh my God, Frailty is
Fantastic.
And I remember I was on some other stream and I was kind of telling some of the things about Brand, and they were like, "This sounds like Frailty," and I was like, it might have some Frailty elements in it, but that wasn't my inspiration. I have to be honest about that.
Oh, fair enough.
But I think Frailty is an amazing work of fiction, as they say, and that was, because I've got the elements of religion woven in there. I've got, there's things, but it just Brand is different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say my influences are like Thundercats, Captain Marvel, and I'm not talking about Brie Larson. I'm talking about Billy Batson, Captain Marvel. I don't call him Shazam. Shazam's the fucking wizard. That's why he says Shazam, so he can get his power.
That's right.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, but if there was a God in heaven, Marvel would give DC the fucking rights to the thing. Although, I guess if DC hadn't put Wiz Comics out of business,
exactly. That's karma right there.
Yeah, they would have. So it's like they put Wiz Fawcett Comics out of business, and then they were like, hey, we're gonna snap your character up, and then Marvel was like, well, hey, we're gonna snap the name up because the rights to the name Captain Marvel lapsed.
Yeah,
and so I don't blame Marvel for not giving the name to DC, but I understand that DC is like, if we have a character that we call Captain Marvel and we put $100 million advertising budget into it, then it's probably going to confuse consumers, and they're going to go to their comic shop and buy Marvel comic books.
Right.
And
But I can go over some pages here, and if you want to share screens of
let's do it. Let's actually let me see. If I can get this thing to come up on you. Let's see. Boom.
Application window. Boom.
Okay, it should
work.
Right.
That work.
Okay. And that link, of course, is in the description for you guys that are arriving later and you are interested in maybe supporting Preston in White Lily #3. Looks like he's got some very affordable comic book prices there. And please, at least deserves oh wow. Oh, that's White Lily. That's the cover to issue 3, right?
It's covered issue 3 right there, yeah.
Yes.
So, and this, by the way, I already sent this off to the printer because I have a convention coming up, Phoenix Fan Fusion. So I printed up 75 copies that as a convention exclusive. So if you can come see me in Phoenix, and you will get one of only 75 copies of White Lily issue 3 Phoenix edition. So.
Oh wow, that's gonna be all right.
And all right, so being a Texan, we're very passionate about our military hardware, and I'd wanted to make sure everything's right. So she's standing next to a T-34 tank. So that's one of the features of that is the Christies, which are the little wheels that go inside that tread. They're all the same size. It's just the way the Soviets designed it. So she's standing next to a T-34 tank, and she's holding a gun that's very near and dear to my heart. That is a German MP-40 Schmeitzer submachine gun. That I grew up with one of those. My dad bought one at a gun show. It was welded shut. You couldn't use it. But I remember just I used to take that gun and take out the clip and, just monkey around with it. And so I finally saw an opportunity to put that in a comic book. So she's holding a German MP-40 Schmeitzer submachine gun that she took off that dead German there. And I made sure all the technical details are right about the gun, too. Like the first time the pencils came in, I'm like, where's the collapsible stock? And the pencils, I was going to care about the collapsible stock. I'm like, I care about the collapsible stock. I want to see the collapsible stock. So there is, in fact, the collapsible stock that did get drawn in there. And so what I like about this cover is, it goes back to the era of comics where the cover explains the story. So you can see that's the wreckage of her plane there in the background. And, so her plane crashed. She's now making her way through Stalingrad. That German's dead. She's taken his gun, and she's trying to make her way back to safety. So that's the story elements that you get from the cover alone.
I mean, it looks beautiful. And this is done. You say this is again colored by Blonde. This is, of course, this art is done by your new artist, right? This is not done.
Jake Bilbao. But images were inked by hand by Diana, so that gave some continuity between issue 2 and 3. But, yeah.
Because it just looks fantastic. I think it really. That's why I'm saying, you know, if you're going to send me a DM and ask me to come on,
right?
Make sure your book looks like a comic book. I don't think that's too much to ask.
I'm with you.
Like, Antonio, I have a dream like you, and I drew this all myself, and it looks like shit.
Yeah.
And then you just have to be honest with people and stuff, and then they just like, well, people helped you, and I'm like, I don't want you to not be successful. Right. But if I'm gonna take my time and stream with you and all that, and help you promote your book, make sure your comic looks like a comic.
Exactly.
God damn it. The stuff that I see, it's like, oh my God, this is, oh man, it's like Frog the Barbarian. Here we go. And I'll be like, oh God, okay, man. It's like, yeah. And the art looks like trash. And it's just like, he's like, I probably need to get a better artist, and I need to tweak my art, my colorist a little bit and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, then it sounds like you're not fucking ready.
Yeah. And you know, I've been there as a writer. Like, you know, to me, since this was a historical figure, I thought like her story is amazing. All I have to do is put it out there. People are gonna gobble it up. And you don't know how many people I've just explained the story to, and they go, "Huh, all right." And then I'm like,
no, that was one thing I did say. Like when, you know, like I said, I didn't know you from Adam, and you had sent me the PDF, and I actually started flipping them, and I was like, that was when, because you hadn't sent me Guinevere yet. Right. I actually didn't get Guinevere. I got the first thing you ever sent me was White Lily 1 and 2.
Right.
And but you were coming on to promote the Guinevere on Indiegogo.
Yes.
And I was like, this is a comic. This actually looks professional. It looks like a comic book.
I do my best. And
that's why I was just like, I was like, that's the thing. I think a lot of people was like, I grew up a comics fan too. And I was like, yeah, so did I, dumbass. But my book looks like a comic book.
Right.
Yours doesn't.
So one of the things that's subtle, and I guess maybe I have to explain it to you, because some people miss it, and then they go off on that I was trying to signal or kind of give away the wrong info. And that's that Lilia has a very strong death instinct. You know, her father was taken from her. She, you know, feels very much like she doesn't belong in this world. And she just looks around and it's nothing but misery. You know, the communist Russia, and now the Nazis are invading. And this horrible world is collapsing down around her in flames. And she just kind of doesn't want to be there anymore. She's to a certain extent lost hope. But it's that sense of lost hope that makes her a very dangerous fighter pilot, because she's taking every risk she can with her life, and that makes her a dangerous adversary in the air. So here in issue 3, and issue 2, it leaves off with them kind of entering a dogfight. And again, I flip the orientation of the book. So what I do in PDFs is I change the way the PDFs are laid out. But I didn't want to go immediately into flipping the orientation, so I inserted this page of her former commander back when she was in training, who's, you know, kind of understanding that, you know, the squadron she's in is about to engage the enemy. And she's thinking to herself, like, you know, nothing would reflect better on my reputation than these women dying for their country. And so I'm trying to show, you know, how cold the world that she's in is.
But matter of fact, I want to ask you this, because we talked about this. Vaz and Maya came in later, but Vaz and Kazi, he says Preston Winmore Divinity Factory. So I guess we have a Guinevere backer here, and he wants to know, hey, when's the next chapter coming, baby?
Fourth quarter.
Yeah. All right. So it is coming. Because that's one thing I like about Preston. He got his books be done already. I was just like, But again, I need, that's what I'm saying. We need more capital.
Mhm.
I think the next book will generate more capital because, like I said, the whole point of this is I want to be able to crank these books out a couple times a year,
Right.
and I am really, really looking forward to everybody reading. But again, you know, that's I like White Lily. I liked Guinevere and the Divinity Factory because your books actually look like comics.
Thank you.
And that's I was just like, oh, it's so and I don't want that to sound like I'm hating. I'm just being
No.
honest. That's the thing, is like some people, they're nice, and I'm talking about they're good, nice folks,
Right.
but they don't have enough self-awareness to realize that it's not up to snuff. And that's something that Ethan has said a few times,
He has.
that he's had people that are nice people
Hmm.
that he would like to help,
Hmm.
but the book is not good. So he doesn't want to ask people to back a book that he just doesn't feel like is up to snuff. And it's not, there needs to be, he was like, he said, if that's gatekeeping,
Right.
then I'm a gatekeeper. But he's like,
Okay.
if I'm going to bring you in front of my audience that I've
Yeah.
worked so hard to build,
Right.
then I at least have to think your book is good. Because I'm not going to lie to my fans and tell them that I think your book is good. And
But
I
at the
remember,
same time, like the most recent tweet I saw from him was like, "Come talk to me when you have 25,000 YouTube followers." Like, okay, so I mean, it's almost
well,
like kind of moving away from the quality comic dynamic and now moving towards YouTubers sharing an audience dynamic.
well, I'm gonna be honest about that. I kind of see from his perspective because it seems like where Ethan is and Ethan has I know from other people that have gotten the nod and gotten to go on.
Mhm.
He tells them all the same because he dropped a lot of game on me when I first came on. He
Sure.
was just telling me, he's like, "Hey, don't sleep on you," because I was being real lazy on YouTube.
Yeah.
I put a video up. About
Mhm.
3 weeks later, I might come back and try. It's like, and then I'd be like, "Why don't I have 50,000 views?
Right.
Why don't I? Because you have to keep working. You have to keep building it. You have to be consistent. Your audience, my audience grows now because they know several times a week I'm going to stream. I'm going to give content. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's going to be different content available. I've got, even when I lost all my videos, I just got back on the horse and kept grinding. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, well, they got all my videos, but I'm still monetized. So
Right.
I need to get back to work, baby. And so I just got back to
Yeah.
cranking more videos up.
Yeah.
So,
I,
and
how did you lose all your video? I remember on Twitter like 6 weeks ago, you were like, even my gumbo recipe. So,
Well, I got mass flagged, and I was
okay.
like, I've got over 250 notices from YouTube talking about they flag all my videos got flagged for inappropriate content,
Right.
and then when I approached YouTube about recovering those videos,
Hmm.
they didn't even, when they started looking into it, they're confused about what happened because I was like, you guys just took all the videos down
Right.
and you didn't really give me a good explanation for why that happened.
Hmm.
And then they were like, yeah, I think because I said I'm still monetized. I don't have any copyright strikes. I don't have, that's why I'm like, that's why I can still get super chats and all that kind of stuff. All my videos still have ads on them and stuff.
Right.
That's why, because I was like, so you flagged over 250 videos,
Right.
but I don't have any strikes. I can still get super chats. All my new videos are all still monetized. That doesn't make sense. And they're like, you're right. We don't, it was like,
Yeah.
and that's why they got people looking into it and doing all this. And I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
you guys are, yeah, I don't know. But there's a woman named Joy, and she's been trying to help me recover
Neat.
all the videos.
Yeah.
And it's, we've been working at it. And I don't know. She's, at least if I email her, she emails me back. So that's
There
always.
you go. Fair enough.
So, but she can't. Yeah, they haven't been able to fix it yet. Vazakazi says, "Will you do a trade paperback of White Lily after it is finished?"
Not only will I do a trade paperback, but I'm going to finish printing individual comics at that point. I'm just going to do the trade paperback. So that means the comics that I'm making now are pretty collectible because once they get to the trade paperback stage, that's what I'm going to print and take to shows.
Aha! So you just print. Matter of fact, when you get the when you get the whole thing done, I would very much like one of your trade paperbacks. I would very much like that. And I would have, yeah, I'd like to have one. Obviously, I'd like it signed as well.
Of course, no problem.
Because I'm an autograph whore. That's what I do. I collect things.
So here we are. We're picking up with kind of entering the dogfight, and one of the I don't know how big a World War II buff you are, but the German Luftwaffe would paint the noses of their planes yellow. So you see all these yellow noses coming at you. You know, the Luftwaffe was descending.
I have no idea what you just said, but it looks cool, so I'm gonna go with it.
All right. Well, what I'm saying is that they used yellow paint. The fighter has a nose, and instead of like camouflaging it, they would make their planes stand out, so it was easy to see in the sky. So the opposite of camouflage, they wanted you to know where they were and that they were coming. The Germans kind of really tried to do intimidation thing. That's why that Stuka noise on their bombers. They actually put a horn on just to do that. They really wanted to announce their presence and terrify you that the Luftwaffe was here and it was time to die, kind of thing. So you see out on the horizon, you see all those yellow noses. You're about to enter combat with what was at that point the most leading fighting force in World War II.
Well, there you go. I mean, but it looks fantastic. I mean, again, but that's the thing. I liked your book, which obviously that's why you're here.
Exactly.
But again, there's been a couple of y'all over the last few weeks that I thought that I streamed with that I thought had really, really good looking books.
Right.
And so that's why I was like, when I had, I had Chaotic Flux on, and then the gentleman, what's his name, Fresher Luke, he had a book on, and I was like, yeah, where they just had the books had like a nice quality feel to it, and I was like, that's the thing. I just want people to read comics,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want fun, professional looking comics. That's what I want. I was like, and I feel like. My ex, the one that I discussed with you, she feels like comics is stupid. That's probably why we didn't work out, because I was like, I love comics and stuff. Even, and I gave her, I mean, she reads novels and stuff like that, and I would give her some of my favorite books that I read throughout the last, say, 30 some odd years. Frank Miller, Chris Claremont, the Wolverine miniseries.
Right.
Kingdom Come, Frank Miller, Daredevil Man Without Fear, Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns. I was just
this is bullshit.
Yeah, and she was looking at it, I was like, man, that story was stupid. She did like she liked, what was it? She liked the Wolverine miniseries with Claremont and Frank Miller. She thought they had some kind of sexist pig moments in there. I was like, it's like 1981. She was like, sexist pigs, and I was just like,
you need a new woman. You got to trade that one in. So.
Yeah, it didn't work out. But I don't know. I was crazy about her. But yeah, she didn't. She thought comics were stupid. So it just wasn't really anything you could do.
So, all right, and we're going into this air combat here, and we've got Katya and Lilia are the two main characters that follow through the story. And again, Lilia is the one who was called the White Lily, or the White Rose of Stalingrad, depending on your translation. And Katya is the number 2 pilot. They're the only 2 women to ever earn the title of ace in world history, were these 2 women that I'm following. And I have, the way I've chosen to portray Katya is that she is more cautious and far more sane, and that Lilia is this deeply damaged woman who is just constantly taking crazy risks with her life. And so here we have, the Luftwaffe is approaching. You're seeing all these yellow noses, and Katya's like, do we have a plan? And Lilia's like, I attack. Come along if you like. And this thought bubble, which one of the things I like in comics that I can't do in screenplays is show people's thoughts. So, the thought of, is she courageous or suicidal? And really, in the time of war, what's the difference? But so we have Lilia lining up on an opposing fighter, just head to head. We have this shot here where, she's got it, right in her sights. And we have her saying, death comes for all of us. Today, death comes for you. And then, big exchange of fire. And then, in that exchange of fire, they both end up being hit. So here, the plane that she fired at is, flaming and falling away, and here's hers. And, Kaya is now forced to protect her because she took a stupid risk with her life, and she pays a price here. So
just beautifully illustrated, beautifully colored.
Thank you.
This is fantastic. I'm looking. I was like, man, that looks great. The color effects, just nice, clean, crisp color. And this is what I keep saying this, and
Right.
I'm telling you, for anyone watching this later, if you're going to put out a book, have some quality about it. Just, I mean, I don't know, I know because some people are like, well, I can't afford an artist. I'll draw it myself or whatever and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, well, like I'm just gonna say, you get what you pay for, baby.
Yeah,
Real
exactly.
talk.
Yeah.
And Brand was
these days, you should just be putting out YouTube videos talking about the book you're going to make, and then once your following gets big enough, well, then you can monetize it. Of course, I didn't know that when I got started, but
oh yeah, but I mean, this is beautifully done here, man. I was just, and
really
again,
I really love that shot of her parachuting into Stalingrad, and you just see like the burn. Like you're looking down through the top of the building, and it's all bombed out. It's just gone, and she's parachuting into that.
I mean, it's just, it looks fantastic, man. It's great, great, great. I think this is hopefully, I mean, like I said, you've successfully funded the other two books. So I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
You got the books out, your backers are happy.
I'm doing
how many of your backers have you, because that's the thing, my backers email me and stuff, so I talk to my backers sometimes. So what kind of feedback are you hearing from backers?
They don't contact me directly a lot, but I did see on Twitter, and I was kind of honored this because the conversation wasn't about me. The conversation was about other stuff. But I think I can find the tweets if you want. But like I came up in conversation. They were talking about something else. I think they may have been talking about Earthworm Jim or something. And then somebody goes, the best page one of a comic book I've ever read was Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. Like it just really hooked you in the story. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm glad people like it.
And let me look here. You're at $426 right now, sir.
Woot! Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate your help.
Couple people here have backed you, they've said, so that is awesome. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you coming up with the shekels.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you can see, this book just looks fantastic. Preston, I wish you the utmost success for this. With the, it's like, I think this is this looks fantastic. I mean, it's just man, just great. Your letter person, all of it, just great job. And it looks like I know your issue 4 is. You say your issue 4 is already at least done, right?
Yeah,
or almost done.
The pencils are done now, and I'm actually talking with Ben Jones about like coming on to do inking. So.
Well, I like Ben. Ben is a great person. I like Ben a lot.
Issue 4 may have Jones on the cover. We'll see.
Yeah, that was because I like it's like I was reading because he sent out a PDF to all his backers for Asgard, so I was checking that out. But I was just like, just kind of got lost in the shuffle. But that was one of the things when we had been on, what was a month and a half ago, I think. Because I mean, you were actually on it, and he hopped on, and then John Malin hopped on. That was actually a really good string. It was you and Elliot, and it was like
that was how Ben and I met in El Paso Comic-Con, is because we had booths like our booths were back to back. Like I was looking one way, and then he had another row. But he walked by me, and he goes, "Wait a minute, you were on the Comic Press show with me." I'm like, Yeah, we were, and so that was how we met.
Yeah. Ben, I like Ben a lot. Ben's a great guy. Asgard. This is let me see, Preston. Get metal prints from Ben. He does. I know he does it himself. He has a machine at his house. He told me.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, he actually can. And I actually, because everybody was like, Antonio, metal prints.
Right.
And then I went to Ben, and I was like, how conceivable would it be
Yeah.
to do metal prints as like a backer reward and all this kind of thing. And he started giving me, he was like, man, and he said one thing a lot of people don't realize
Yeah.
is that even though they're little sheets,
Hmm.
in bulk, they
Yeah.
have a lot of weight.
Right.
So,
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's
and he was telling me how much it would cost and shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm not at that Bigfoot Bill level of the game yet.
right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but those are things, I mean, seeing some of those metal prints, they look really cool.
Right.
So hopefully one day
Hmm.
I'll get to that level where I can do something like that. I think that would be a good reward for our backers, people that support us. But, whew, all right.
All right. So
Um,
here, I
yeah.
just want to take you through these couple of pages, and then you gotta go. Then that's all cool. But I appreciate my time on your show.
Well,
But
yeah, we've been going for over an hour. That's why I was
I
like,
know, I
but
know.
yes, please,
Yeah,
do that, and then we'll wrap it up.
we'll wrap it. All right. So she's parachuting in, and I have her, and now she's, kind of herself realized the rewards of taking stupid risks, and so she has this thought, which is, and now death comes for me, and she sees that he's coming after her, so she's running. She sees there's a booby trap. She's able to avoid it. She's catching fire, and the German is in pursuit, and he doesn't see it because he's running after her, and then we have that shot of the explosion. And I wanted a moment because particularly for someone who's used to air combat where death is very much at a distance and you're not really seeing a lot of people like directly dead right in front of you, where she's just absolutely freaked out. And as a writer, I wondered, like, if this was a male character, if people might think that this weakness was unbecoming what a soldier should do. But I think I can get away with it a little bit more because she's a female character. But I think the truth is, if like we were in war and like somebody just like blew up like right in front of us, even somebody who was trying to kill us, we would be like, oh my God. And so she has this moment of where, soon I'm going to be dead just like him. And then at the bottom, I have this moment, and I was really trying to convey an artwork and not words, but she pulls herself together here and she reconnects with her faith. So she takes out her Star of David and she's able to focus on herself, and she just has the thought of enough. And then we go on the next page, and she does what she has to do. She goes over, she gets the gun, and she seeks shelter. So that is how we open issue 3.
I mean, yeah, this looks great. I mean, again, I can't keep saying that. It's fantastic. I mean, it really does. Book looks really, really good. But hey, that's what it is. Again, thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Sure.
My many thanks to Preston Poulter
Thank you.
for joining us here today. Of course, again, the link to White Lily 3 on Kickstarter is in the description. Those of you that have backed, thank you so much. That's how these projects get done. One person backs and maybe spreads the word to a friend or whatever. These, I have a new appreciation for this whole crowdfunding thing. So, hey, keep doing it. Keep creating. Keep making comics, man, because that's what I love, comics. So
and I'm really glad, because my whole model was I'm going to put out, and instead of, because I'm coming to it late in terms of the social media following, I'm just going to try and get there in terms of quality. I'm going to put out books that have great artwork, a compelling story. I'm going to fulfill them quickly. And each one is going to build off the next one. So, Guinevere and the Divinity Factory 2 is going to come in the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get people hooked on the White Lily story so that, these things will all wrap up, and then I'm going to build my reputation that way. That's my game plan.
Well, hey, man. Look, I'm gonna keep saying for the 80th time. Book looks really good, man. But again, I wanted to ask, Mr. Poulter, how can people reach you, like social media, any websites, any of that kind of stuff?
All right, so I'm on YouTube now. I'm at YouTube/PocketJacksComics. Comics. On Twitter, I'm at ComicsJax. I've got a website, PocketJacksComics.com. I'm on Facebook. You can pretty much every social media outlet that you would want. I even created a Tumblr account.
Yeah, I had a Tumblr. Yeah, when they took all the porn people away, I kind of stopped using
Yeah,
Tumblr.
exactly. So,
Yeah, it's like I was only on Tumblr for the porn. I got to be honest about that. But uh, all right, guys.
all right.
All right, it's that time. So here
All
I
right.
go.
Thank
All
you.
right. Hey, Preston, thank you, man. And again, just stick around. I'll send you. I'll because I want you to look and I want to check your movie out and stuff and all that.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
but with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what I'm saying. My Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.